everyone, it's Jennifer from Flux. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this gorgeous Parisian Stroll Shawl. This is light and lacy. I'm using a favorite stitch. If you follow my videos, you may recognize this stitch from some other pieces that I've made. And if you'd like to see the other pieces with that stitch, let me know in the comments and I'll share some links to some other projects as well. I am using a gorgeous yarn cake for this, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but you can see this fabulous gradient and this lovely lace, and it's cottony. So you could wear this in the warmer months if you just need a little something on your shoulders, or in the cooler months if you want just like a nice light scarf for indoors, just something extra. We are going to start down here at this gorgeous pink, and we're going to work our way upward. And I'm going to show you how to do every stitch of the way and go through step by step. So the finished shawl measures about 13 inches wide, and it's a nice length of about 70 inches long. So it has a nice generous fit and a nice, lovely drape because of our lacy cotton. So let's get started. For this project, you'll need a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle. A tape measure is super helpful to get the length that you need if you're after a certain length. We're going to be using a 4mm G crochet hook. This is my Furls Streamline. If you'd like to get one of your own, I'll put a link down below for that. The yarn that we're going to be using is this beautiful yarn from Hobbii. It's Twirls Cotton Kings. It's this lovely yarn cake. The one that I have here is like a bright pink, and then it gradiates to like a lavender color, and then this lovely kind of indigo bluish purple color. Now this yarn is a 2 fine on the yarn weight scale, and it does recommend a US E through G hook. So we are using a recommended hook size, but you can use a range of hooks. If you want to get your stitches a little bit more snug, you can always go down a hook size, and we'll talk about multiples later too for changing the size of your shawl. Now each one of these cakes is 874 yards, and this is 100% cotton. The colorway I'll be using is color number 35, which is also called Pink Dragon Agate, like the stone agate. And then it comes in dye lots as well if you need to get multiple cakes for your project. If you need to substitute yarn, just look for a yarn that is, we're going to be using 874 yards of this, and is a 2 fine on the yarn weight scale, and recommends a similar hook to what we're using. This has a range of hooks, so you might want to do a test swatch if you're really not sure about the yarn that you're using. You could just do a little, like a little swatch of it. So let's get started. Now, one little thing I wanted to mention is I snipped this off, but these yarn cakes come with, I have it still, an easy start tab. So sometimes with these yarn cakes, like when you use a yarn cake, you might dig around looking for the yarn end, but this has a tab. And again, I've already snipped it off, but it makes it so easy. They've already located it and labeled it for you. So that is something I really love about this yarn. So we're going to get started with the starting chain next. But before we do that, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about multiples. Now, if you want to change the width of your shawl, you can make it wider or narrower by changing the multiples. This project has a multiple of 8 plus 2. So if you're not familiar with that, all that means is when you're doing your starting chain, you just go 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, and so forth until it's as wide or as narrow as you like it to be, and then just add 2 more chains onto that. We are going to do a starting chain of 82. So to begin, we're going to put a slip knot on our hook, and I'm going to zoom in just so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing here. So leave a little tail, wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop. Bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your hook, bring up a loop, and tighten. Again, our multiple is 8 plus 2, and we're doing a starting chain of 82. That'll give us a nice wide shawl, and it'll be nice and open and kind of lacy and airy. So to make a chain, wrap the yarn around the hook and bring it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 80, 81, and 82. So here is our starting chain, and it's nice and long, and that'll give you an idea of how long, or how wide rather, you want your shawl to be, okay? For row 1, we're going to work in the 6th chain from the hook to begin. So this loop here does not count. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in this chain right here, we're going to work a double crochet chain 1 4 times into that chain. So to make a double crochet, wrap the yarn around the hook, insert the hook into that chain, bring up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on the hook. Wrap the yarn around the hook, bring it through the first 2 loops, wrap the yarn around the hook, bring it through the last 2 loops, and then we're going to chain 1. And we're going to do a total of 4 times for the double crochet chain 1. So that was 1. And then we're going to go 2 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 1, and 4 double crochet, chain 1, okay? Then we're going to work 1 more double crochet into that same chain. And that is going to create our first fan for us of the row, okay? All right, then what we're going to do is skip 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and in the chain after that, we're going to work a single crochet this time. So insert your hook into that chain, wrap the yarn around the hook, bring up a loop. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn around the hook again and bring it through both loops. That's the single crochet. Okay? So this fan and the single crochet that we just did, we're just going to do that all the way across, and we're going to do it together. If you kind of get the hang of things, you can skip ahead if you like. But if you want to hang out with me and do the whole row together, feel free to do that as well. Okay, so we're going to do our next fan. Skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and in the chain after that, we're going to do our 4 double crochet chain 1s, okay? So double crochet, chain 1, that's 1, double crochet, chain 1, that's 2, double crochet, chain 1, that's 3, double crochet, chain 1, that's 4, and then 1 more double crochet in that same chain. All right, skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and in the chain after that, work a single crochet. And whenever you're using fine yarn like this, just take it nice and slow. It's smaller, it can be more fiddly, but just go nice and slow, okay? Then we're going to skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and in the chain after that, we're going to work our next fan. So in that chain, we're going to work 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, the 3rd double crochet, chain 1, and the 4th double crochet, chain 1. Then we're going to work a double crochet into that same chain, and then we're going to move on, skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and in the chain after that, work your single crochet, just like that. Then we're going to skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, in the chain after that, work your next fan. So work your first double crochet, chain 1, 2nd double crochet, chain 1, 3rd double crochet, chain 1, and the 4th double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet all in that same chain, okay? So we're getting some beautiful, delicate little fans across the row here. Okay, keep going across, skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and in the chain after that, work a single crochet, just like that. Skip 3 chains once again, 1, 2, 3, and then work your fan in the chain after that. So work your first double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet, chain 1, third double crochet, chain 1, fourth double crochet, chain 1, and then one more double crochet in that same chain. Making some good progress across the row here. All right, next, skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and in the chain after that, work a single crochet. Then we're going to skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and in the chain after that, work your next fan. First double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet of the fan, chain 1, third double crochet of the fan, chain 1, fourth double crochet of the fan, chain 1. Then work one more double crochet in the same chain. I'm going to grab a little bit more yarn here. Okay, moving right along, skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. In the chain after that, work a single crochet. Just like that. Then we're going to skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and in the chain after that, work your fan. First double crochet, chain 1. Second double crochet, chain 1. Third double crochet, chain 1. Fourth double crochet, chain 1, and then one more double crochet in that chain. All right, skip the next 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the next chain. Then we're going to skip 3 chains again. 1, 2, 3, and work your next fan. First double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet, chain 1, third double crochet, chain 1, fourth double crochet, chain 1, and then one more double crochet in that same chain. All right, we got just a little bit more to do. Skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and the chain after that, work your single crochet. And then skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, chain after that, work your next fan. First double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet, chain 2, third double crochet, chain 1, fourth double crochet, chain 1, and then one more double crochet in that chain. All right, skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. In the chain after that, work a single crochet. Skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. In that next chain, work your next fan. This will be the last fan of our row. 1 double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet, chain 1, third double crochet, chain 1, fourth double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet in the same chain to finish off that fan. All right, so we have just a few chains left. You should have 4 chains at the end of the row, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're gonna skip the next 3 chains, and in that very last chain, what you're gonna do is work a single crochet in that very last chain, okay? So insert the hook into that very last chain and work your single crochet. Okay, I went nice and slow for this row. We have some, if we zoom out just a little bit, we have some really beautiful fans here with a nice little row of fans. And you can kind of get an idea at this point too, how the width of the shawl is going to be as well. It'll give you more of an idea. We got a little bit more height on that. Okay, let's move on to row 2 next. For row 2, we're going to worry about this tail later, so you can just kind of get it out of the way. For row 2, what we're going to do is chain 6 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, and then we're going to turn our work. And then what we're going to do is we're going to locate the very center of this first fan. We're going to, remember our fans were, it's a total of 5 double crochets per fan, each having a chain in between. Remember that? Actually, let me zoom right back in so you can see what I'm doing here. So we're going to go right in the middle of this fan. So if we go to the middle stitch, which is that center post, so you'll have 2 on one side and 2 on the other. We're going to work a single crochet right into the centermost stitch of the fan, okay? So go right into that fan. And again, go nice and slow, especially while you're just starting with this and it's really fine yarn. We're going to work a single crochet right in the centermost stitch of that fan, okay? Just like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go in between the fans where we did a single crochet in the previous row, and right in that single crochet, right in between those fans, we're going to work a double crochet stitch, okay? So double crochet right into that single crochet. Just like that. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to work, again, we're going to work a single crochet in the center stitch of that fan, okay? So right in the middle of the fan, work a single crochet, and again, go nice and slow. It's really delicate yarn, and you'll pick up speed as you move along. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to work a double crochet into that single crochet in between the next 2 fans. Okay, so locate that single crochet from the previous row and just work a double crochet right in that single crochet. Okay, then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to hop over to that next fan. And I like to kind of use my thumbs to help me like sort of count the stitches so I can make sure I'm definitely in the middle. We're going to work a single crochet right in the center of that fan, that centermost stitch. Just like that. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to work a double crochet into that single crochet from the previous row, right in between those fans. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to work a single crochet right in the middle there. I use my thumbs to help me find it. Just like that. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Hop over to that single crochet that's in between the fans and work a double crochet. Then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Hop over to that fan. Once again, we're going to work a single crochet right in the middle of the fan, that centermost stitch. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Go in between the fans, locate that single crochet, work a double crochet right in there. Just like that. chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to work a single crochet right in that centermost stitch, right in the middle of that fan, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You go in between those fans and work a double crochet right into that single crochet from the previous row, just like that. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Hop over to that next fan, locate the middle. So I like to use my thumbs here and work your single crochet right in the middle of that fan there. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Find that single crochet in between those fans and work a double crochet into it. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Locate the center of your fan, just like that. Work a single crochet right in the middle there. I grabbed a little bit more of a loop there than I should have. All right, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Go right in the middle of that fan, in between those fans, locate that single crochet and work a double crochet right in the middle of that. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Locate the centermost stitch of your fan. Work a single crochet into that. We're almost to the end. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Go in between those fans and work a double crochet. Just like that. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, the last fan of the row, just locate the centermost stitch, using your thumbs to help you if needed. I know that helps me a lot. Work a single crochet right in the middle of that fan. And then we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Then what we're going to do is work a double crochet in the chain that's right next to that last double crochet. So we have our fan here. Here's that last double crochet of the row, and right next to it is a chain. Just work a double crochet right into that chain, okay? If it's a little snug, you might need to sort of help it in there. And just work a double crochet right into that chain that's all the way to the side right next to that last fan, okay? So row 2 is complete. So we have sort of almost like our little fans now are framed in, and they look really good, okay? Next, we're gonna do row 3. For row 3, what we're gonna do is chain 1 and turn our work. Then we're going to work, remember that single crochet we worked in the center of the previous row fan? We're going to work into that single crochet and make another fan. So we're going to do that, remember that double crochet, chain 1 4 times? We're going to do that, okay? So work your first double crochet right into that single crochet from the previous row. So double crochet, chain 1, that's the first one. Double crochet, chain 1, that's the second one. Double crochet, chain 1, that's the third one. Double crochet, chain 1, that's the fourth one. And then in that same stitch, work another double crochet, okay? So what's going to happen, actually let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see better. What's going to happen is our fans, as you can see a little bit here, are going to start stacking on top of one another. You're going to have a fan and then a fan and then a fan and so forth. Okay, then what we're going to do is this double crochet from the previous row, what we're going to do is work a single crochet right into that double crochet. Okay, so go right in there and work a single crochet. Just like that. Now we're going to hop over to the next fan that we see, and on top of that, remember we did that single crochet in the last row? And we're going to work a fan into that, okay? So work your first double crochet, chain 1, that's 1, double crochet, chain 1, that's 2, double crochet, chain 1, that's 3, double crochet, chain 1, that's 4, and then 1 more double crochet into that stitch, okay? So what we're going to do is just continue this sequence all the way across, okay? So let's pick up a little bit more speed. Work a single crochet into that double crochet from the previous row. Hop over to the next span, and then that single crochet on top, work your next span. Double crochet, chain 1, whoops. I'm going to back up a little. Sometimes this threaded yarn kind of splits open. Okay, so double crochet, chain 1, that's 1. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 2. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 3. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 4, and then 1 more double crochet in that same stitch. Okay, hop over to the next, that's double crochet that you come to next, work a single crochet right into that. All right, hop over to that next span, and in that single crochet on top, work your next span. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 1. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 2. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 3. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 4. Double crochet in that last seam stitch, okay? Now we're going to work a single crochet in that double crochet. We're going to hop over to the next span, and in that single crochet, work your next span. Double crochet. Actually, I'm going to back up there. Double crochet, chain 1. There we go, that's 1. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 2. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 3. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 4. 1 more double crochet in that same stitch. Hop over to that double crochet from the previous row, work a single crochet right in that. All right, hop over to the next span, and in that topmost single crochet that you see that we worked in the previous row, work your next span. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 1. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 2. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 3. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 4, and then 1 more double crochet in that stitch. All right, we're going to work a single crochet in that double crochet from the previous row. That's in between the fans. And then we're going to hop over to that next fan and do the same thing. Work your fan. Double crochet. Whoops, let's back up. There we go. Double crochet. Chain 1. That's 1. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 2. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 3. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 4, and double crochet in the same stitch. All right, we're getting there, we're getting there. All right, work a single crochet into that double crochet from the previous row. Hop over to the next span, work your next span. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 1. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 2. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 3. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 4, and a double crochet in the same stitch. All right, work your single crochet in that double crochet from the previous row. All right, next fan, work your double crochet in that next stitch, that single crochet from the previous row. So double crochet, chain 1, that's 1. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 2, double crochet, chain 1, that's 3, double crochet, chain 1, that's 4, and then one more double crochet in that same stitch to finish off the fan. Okay, so we have just a little bit left. We're going to work a single crochet in that double crochet from the previous row, and then let's work this last fan here in that double crochet or that single crochet. We're going to work our fan. So double crochet, chain 1, that's 1, double crochet, chain 1, that's 2, double crochet, chain 1, that's 3, double crochet, chain 1, that's 4, and then one more double crochet in that same stitch to finish the fan. Okay, so when you get to the end of the row, what we're going to do is work a single crochet in the third chain of the turning chain. So we have quite a large turning chain here. You're going to go 1, 2, 3 chains up and work a single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to work a single crochet right into that third chain up of that turning chain to finish off the row. Okay, so just like that. All right, let's look at our handiwork here. Now what we have is really pretty. I would recommend, if you would like to, I would recommend blocking this because it really kind of opens up those little windows that we've created, those little fans and how they're nicely framed in. I'll put a link down below for that if you'd like to block your piece. Either a little bit of steam blocking or some wet blocking. But what we have here is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your project. So we have our width established. Now to get our length, what you want to do is just repeat rows 2 and 3, 2 and 3 over and over and over again until your shawl is as long as you would like it to be. Now I have this big cake here full of yarn. It has lots of yardage, so I'm going to make mine nice and long, and when we rejoin, you can see this, you'll see this gradient represented in these stitches. So I'm going to keep going with my project, and then when we rejoin, we're going to finish it up and do a little bit of finish work, and that's it. So just keep repeating rows 2 and 3 over and over and over again. And I wanted to say, if you need to back up and watch it again, or you can look at the written pattern on the Flux blog as well if you would like to see it written out or take some notes or something like that. So keep going with rows 2 and 3, and we will rejoin in just a minute. Okay, I'm just coming up to the end of the row here, doing my last little set of chains, and then I'm going to finish off the row with my single crochet. And I have just a teeny tiny bit of yarn, so I'm not going to continue with more rows. So I also wanted to point out, I ended on the row here, so it gives me a flat edge. So if we come back to our starting edge has a flat edge, so they sort of will mimic each other. And that's nice when you have it around your shoulders and the two ends are side by side, you'll have similar looking edges. Okay, now if you were to end on this fan before we did this last row, if you stopped the row before, you would have a scalloped edge. So if you like that better, you know, feel free to do that. Now before we finish this off, I just want to show you this gorgeous gradient. This was so much fun to do. I love color changing yarn like this. So we have this like deep indigo color, and then it went to like a lighter kind of like a powdery blue almost, and then it transitioned to this lilac color, and then we started getting some threads of pink through here, so it went to a lighter purple and then an even lighter purple, and then we started to get a purpley pink kind of in between color, and then it went to a light pink and then the darker pink at the end. So you can see when you kind of smush it together, look at that gradient. I just love it. I just am loving it. Okay, so let's finish this off. We're going to grab our hook again, and I'm going to put it back in this loop just to kind of keep it in place. Cut your yarn, And then again, we just had a little tiny bit of yarn. And then I'm just going to fasten off. Wrap the yarn around the hook, bring it through the loop, and then you'll grab your tapestry needle. Now this is yarn that's very fine and thin, so you don't want your needle to be too huge. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see better. And I have a tail where I began and where I ended, so we're going to weave those in together. Just thread. Make sure all those, if you're doing a yarn like this, make sure all those little threads are incorporated into your needle. And then we're just going to weave it in. So the color gradients are a little long, so you don't have to worry about going into other colors. But if you use a different yarn or your color changed more rapidly, just try to stay in the same color as your tail so that it is as camouflage as possible. Okay, so I'm going to go in one direction. I'm kind of going along the bottom of that fan. I'm going to go in one direction. Make sure when you pull it that you don't pull it too hard. It'll distort your stitches a little. And then I like to come back in the other direction. It helps to lock that tail into place and keep it nice and snug. And then I'm going to just grab my scissors and just carefully give it a little snip. Okay, now let's travel down to the bottom here. Down this pretty pink. And again, we want to catch all those threads of our yarn strand. We're just going to thread it and just do the same thing. I'm going to stay in the pink area, which won't be too hard with the color changes that I have. So once again, just go in that one direction with your tail. And you notice I'm going nice and slow, nice neat finish work. Bring it through. And then we're going to come back in the other direction, going nice and slow. There's a lot of plies here with this yarn and strands, so I want to just make sure I'm going nice and slow and doing it neat. And everything's tiny because it's a thin yarn. All right, and then just carefully get a snip. Being careful not to snip your stitches. I've done that once or twice. Okay, so our shawl is done. Now let me just lay it back out so you can see it. And our stitches look so pretty, and our gradient is just really showing them off. It's showing off the stitches without being too busy, which I really like. They kind of complement each other very well. And let me just zoom out so you can see. And that is how you crochet the Parisian Stroll Shawl. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again!